15 days ago, NASA issued an alert that few people fully understand. At this very moment, while you're watching this video, there is an object in space approaching the closest point to our solar system's orbit. Its perihelion occurs on exactly October 30th, 2025. We're talking about a cosmic phenomenon that isn't merely scientific, but spiritual. And here's the truth that astronomical authorities are only discovering now. Padre Pío warned us about this decades ago and left 3 protection practices that can completely transform how you and your family experience this moment. Let me be absolutely clear with you. What you're about to learn aren't vague speculations from popular astrology. We're talking about astronomical events documented by NASA, by the Atlas Organization, by the Nordic Observatory, and the spiritual revelations of a saint who understood celestial signs in a way that scientists are only beginning to comprehend now. On July 1st, 2025, the Atlas telescope located in Rio Hurtado, Chile, detected something extraordinary, an interstellar comet. Let this sink in for a moment. I'm not talking about an ordinary comet that passes through our solar system. I'm talking about the 3rd interstellar comet ever confirmed in the entire history of modern astronomy. The 3rd in all of recorded history. But there's something far more disturbing in the data. This isn't an ordinary cosmic visitor. This comet was discovered in July, but scientists are already baffled by its anomalous behavior. It's the largest interstellar comet ever observed. It's the fastest, traveling at an impressive 137,000 miles per hour through the void of space. And it's the oldest interstellar visitor ever to reach our solar system. Think about it. This object has traveled through entire galaxies. It traversed dark space for billions of kilometers. And now it's here. Astronomers were confused. But the most bewildering began to emerge in May 2025. The comet initiated extraordinary activity, much earlier than it should be at such distance from the Sun. Its coma began taking on a reddish hue in a way that contradicts standard expectations of comet behavior. Then in September, just weeks ago, something remarkable occurred. The Nordic Observatory detected a transformation in its anti-tail, an extraordinary feature. Do you know what an anti-tail is? It's when a comet develops a tail pointing toward the Sun instead of away from it, as it normally should. An anomaly within an anomaly. But wait, there's more. The James Webb Space Telescope, the most advanced instrument humanity has ever placed in space, made a discovery that silenced scientists completely. The chemical signature of this comet is anomalous beyond any conventional explanation. The comet contains levels of carbon dioxide that exceed the amount of water, the reverse of what virtually all icy comets show us. It possesses cyanide in inexplicable quantities. And here's the part that truly defies scientific comprehension. It exhibits nickel vapor. Nickel, a metal, vaporizing at temperatures where this shouldn't be physically possible. Astronomers remain completely perplexed. How can nickel vaporize when the thermal conditions don't justify it? The equations don't work. Scientific models fail. There's simply no explanation. And now, on October 30th, 2025, this comet will reach its closest point to our solar orbit, a distance of 130 million miles. It will be at maximum visibility, though obscured by solar glare, impossible to observe directly at this moment. It will remain in the constellation of Virgo. Astronomers call this a close encounter in cosmic terms. But you know what scientists aren't saying publicly? They're genuinely worried. Not about an impact, the orbits are perfectly safe, but concerned about what this represents. An object that shouldn't exist, behaving in ways that physics doesn't explain, traveling through our solar system on a journey that began long before humans ever existed on this Earth. If you understand that this moment demands spiritual preparation, not just scientific curiosity, comment, "I am prepared now." Because what you'll discover in the next few minutes can completely transform your perspective on spiritual protection. Now let me take you to the aspect that changes everything. Padre Pío wasn't just an extraordinary saint. He was an interpreter of celestial signs. He understood that the universe communicates through phenomena that go beyond material explanation. He taught that when the extraordinary occurs in the heavens, there's always an underlying spiritual significance. It's not coincidence. It's a message. While astronomers measure wavelengths and calculate orbits, there exists a parallel truth that they cannot measure with their instruments. Padre Pío warned us about a time when celestial signs would multiply, a time when the natural order of things would be disrupted in ways requiring spiritual vigilance, a time when spiritual people must be alert, aware, and deeply prepared. What we are witnessing is not merely an astronomical anomaly. It is a warning. It is a sign that humanity, those who understand, needs to prepare not only materially but spiritually. Throughout history, those who understood profound spiritual teachings have always known this truth. The heavens speak. And when they speak in this way, through impossible objects, anomalous behaviors, inexplicable chemistry, they are calling our attention to something crucial about our spiritual state. You see, the anomalous behavior of this comet mirrors something Father Pío taught about spiritual disorder. Just as this object violates the laws of physics, so too does the lack of spiritual preparation create invisible disorder in our lives, a disturbance in the spiritual energy that surrounds us. Father Pío said that every extraordinary celestial sign came with a lesson, that when we encountered the impossible, it was time to question what we took for granted in our spiritual lives. It was time to be prepared. But what exactly did Father Pío teach about interpreting these signs? What is the profound meaning behind this impossible interstellar comet? And most importantly, what are the 3 specific protective practices he offered for those who recognize that a celestial warning has been given? Because here is the truth. This is not a video of cosmic curiosity. This is a spiritual calling that can transform your home and your family forever. You are witnessing this at the very moment the universe is transmitting a direct message. In the next few minutes, you will discover what Father Pío revealed about signs like this, and how you can align yourself with the protection and wisdom. These teachings offer concrete practices that thousands have already implemented with transformative results. Father Pío spoke of 3 signs that precede times of spiritual trial. These were not empty words, but teachings revealed through decades of contemplation and mystical wisdom. What I share with you now are not mere words. They are the lessons of Father Pío, preserved and transmitted by those who lived in his extraordinary grace. The first sign that the saint revealed is one he called the visitor from the cosmic depths. Father Pío taught that when celestial objects from beyond our known boundaries approach Earth, they bring a different vibration, an energy that does not belong to our familiar world. This comet, my brothers, was born in the dark regions of interstellar space, traveling for millions of years through the infinite void. Its origin is not from here. Scientists confirm this. Its composition, its trajectory, everything points to a visitor truly foreign to our solar system. Father Pío said that these cosmic visitors confront us with a simple but powerful truth. We are not alone in the universe. When the unknown approaches, our soul is invited to awaken, as if the cosmos itself is sending us a message. Many believers have already felt this. Sarah, a teacher from Chicago who prays the rosary every day, told me that during the nights when this comet was visible, she felt a different presence, not a dark one, but one that called her to greater depth in her faith. The second element that Father Pío revealed is the transformative composition. He understood that every object passing through the heavens carries a message through its own nature. This comet has a rare chemical composition elements we do not easily find in our skies. Its tail, when visible in December, will shine with colors that tell a story of its cosmic journey. Father Pío taught that spiritual teachings, like these celestial elements, are often misunderstood because they require inner transformation to be fully understood. Margaret, A devoted grandmother whose marriage was on the brink of collapse 3 years ago experienced something profound when she began to meditate on Father Pío's teachings. She understood that just as this comet was transformed by its journey through the cosmos, she too could be transformed by a deeper spiritual journey. Today, her home is a space of peace. She says she learned the lesson that Father Pío preached. Everything that challenges us brings with it the seed of transformation. Margaret began teaching her granddaughters to look at the sky not with fear, but with spiritual curiosity. There is a third sign, perhaps the most impactful revelation Father Pío left for our times. He called it the fulfillment of prophetic time. The saint understood that in moments of cosmic uncertainty, the spiritual calendar and the celestial calendar converge. This comet will reach its closest point to Earth on October 30th. It is no coincidence. Father Pío taught that dates are not random. They are language the universe uses to speak with attentive souls. In late October and early November, when scientific activity around this comet reaches its peak, when space telescopes like the Parker Solar Probe and James Webb track its every movement, when observatories throughout the world document this interstellar visitor in that moment, Father Pío said humanity will have a window of spiritual opportunity. It is not fear that should motivate us. It is awareness. Fray Roberto, a Franciscan friar who served alongside Padre Pío for many years, left detailed records of these teachings. He described how the saint saw each celestial sign not as a threat, but as an invitation. An invitation for us to turn our eyes toward the sacred dimensions that our modern world has forgotten. You see, Padre Pío was not predicting disasters. He was predicting moments of decision, moments when humanity needs to choose between remaining asleep or awakening to its true spiritual nature. The revealed teachings that I share with you now, these 3 truths that he left us, the presence of the visitor, from the cosmic depths, the transformative composition, and the fulfillment of prophetic time, they converge in this specific moment in history. But we know from NASA, from the international scientific community, that this comet poses no immediate danger. The safe distance is guaranteed. However, Padre Pío understood something that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Cosmic events affect our collective consciousness in profound and measurable ways. When thousands of people around the world look up to the same point in the sky simultaneously, something changes in the spiritual vibration of the planet. Thousands have already prepared. Thousands have already begun their journey of deepening spiritual understanding, taking advantage of this period of cosmic attention. They do not wait for external salvation. They know, as Padre Pío taught, that true protection comes from within, from the strength of our convictions, from the depth of our spiritual practices, from the clarity of our intentions. Padre Pío's teachings possess transformative power, not because he was supernatural, although many believe his miracles prove this, but because he had penetrated the deep truth of how the human soul works. He knew that when we face the unknown, when we confront the vastness of the cosmos, we are forced to confront as well the vastness of our own soul. Now that you understand the prophetic warning, now that you know about the 3 elements that Padre Pío revealed, one question remains. How do you prepare your soul? How do you protect those you love? The saint left more than words. He left a specific spiritual arsenal, a set of 5 practices and protections that most Catholics do not know. Practices that transformed entire areas, that brought peace to families on the brink of disintegration, that awakened sleeping souls to their true power. These 5 practices are not complicated. They do not require resources that you do not have. They require only intention, faith, and willingness to follow the path that Padre Pío traced for us. In the coming minutes, I will reveal each of these practices. You will learn how to protect your home, your family, your soul. You will discover why so many have already experienced profound transformation by applying these revealed teachings. Padre Pío's protective arsenal begins with 3 forgotten elements that completely transform the way you relate to spiritual protection. They are not simple objects. They are sacred keys that activate a power that most people never learn to use properly. Let me be clear. You have probably already heard about crucifixes, medals, and holy water. But what I will share now is not generic information. These are the practical lessons of Padre Pío, a man who constantly faced spiritual attack and developed a protection system so effective that it remains relevant today. The first practice, the power of the strategically positioned crucifix. Padre Pío insisted on something that few follow correctly. The crucifix is not merely a symbol, it is a portal. When positioned strategically, it creates an energetic barrier that Padre Pío called the signature of redemption in space. Here are the practical instructions that you should implement today. First, choose a crucifix. It does not need to be expensive. What matters is that it is well made, with the image of Christ clearly visible. Many people make the mistake of choosing a crucifix that is too small, thinking that it works equally well. It does not. Padre Pío recommended that the crucifix be at least 15 centimeters tall, so that its presence is truly felt in the environment. Second, identify the correct location. Your bedroom is the first place. Place the crucifix on the wall across from your bed so that when you lie down, you see the image of Christ. This has a specific purpose. During sleep, you are in your most spiritually vulnerable state. The crucifix acts as a sentinel during the night. Third, perform a simple blessing. Before placing the crucifix on the wall, sprinkle holy water on it and say a prayer. It can be simple. Lord, let this crucifix be protection for my home and my soul. Let the image of Christ present here guard me against all evil. You have just activated the first layer of your protection. Now let me share a real example. Jennifer, a woman from Phoenix, slept poorly for years. She had constant nightmares and woke with a feeling of oppression. She didn't understand why. She implemented exactly these 3 steps. Within a week, the nightmares ceased. The abrupt awakening stopped. She began to sleep 7 to 8 hours continuously, something that hadn't happened for more than a year. Jennifer comments, "It wasn't just the crucifix. It was knowing that I had done it correctly, following Padre Pío's guidance. My bedroom changed completely." This is the first practice, a concrete action that you can perform in less than 30 minutes. Reward achieved. Next practice unlocked. The second practice, the spiritual vigilance prayer routine. Father Pío created a specific prayer structure for times of cosmic uncertainty. He understood that the human mind finds comfort in rituals, in structure. These prayers are not magically powerful because they are magic words. They are powerful because they organize your spiritual intention. Morning upon waking, immediately after opening your eyes, before getting out of bed, recite the Apostles' Creed. This is no accident. The Creed strengthens your spiritual identity, reminding you who you are under divine protection. This takes less than 2 minutes. The first prayer is completed before your feet touch the ground. Before meals, recite an Ave Maria with intention. Here is the specific part that many leave out. As you pray, place your mind on the protection you seek. Father Pío used to say, "A prayer without intention is like a letter without an address." Intention is the spiritual address. At dusk, recite the Hail, Holy Queen. This prayer has a unique quality. It invites the intercession of Mary, and Mary is, according to Father Pío, the greatest protector against darkness. By reciting it at dusk, you are closing your day under her protective mantle. At night, before sleep, think of all the people you love. Simply think, one by one, and for each one, say mentally, "May Christ protect you this night." This takes 3 minutes. Father Pío called this expanding your circle of light. When you protect others in thought, your own protection is strengthened. During special times, such as December, when the comet reappears to our eyes after the solar brightness that hid it, add an extra practice. The Celestial Protection Prayer. Recite at midday, "Almighty God, as I gaze upon the heavens you created, protect my soul from all evil." As Father Pío sought protection, so too do I ask. May my spirit remain safe as the cosmos moves. Only once a day. 1 minute. Simple and potent. Catherine, from Atlanta, Georgia, was desperate. Her husband had abandoned the faith, and she felt that her home was under constant spiritual attacks. Conflicts escalated. Peace vanished. She implemented this prayer routine, not for planetary protection, but for the inner stability that emerged from daily structure. 3 weeks later, her husband began to ask why she seemed so different. So centered, so calm despite everything. He began to pray with her again. Today, they report a peace they hadn't felt in years. The prayer routine didn't change her husband externally. It transformed her inner spiritual energy, and that rippled through everything around her. The second practice is now in place. You have created a daily routine that protects you as you navigate your ordinary life. The third practice, the sacrament as shield. Here we arrive at the point that most people do not fully understand. During times of uncertainty, confession and communion are not merely religious acts. For Father Pío, they were acts of spiritual engineering. When you confess, you perform a deep energetic cleansing, removing spiritual blocks. Father Pío often said that unconfessed guilt creates scars on the soul that weaken it. During a period like December, when the comet becomes visible to our eyes and the universe behaves in ways we do not yet fully understand, this cleansing is crucial. Here is what you must do. A week before any time of special cosmic tension or existential worry, seek confession. It is not about having committed grave moral sins. It is about cleansing. Father Pío recommended monthly confession for continuous protection, but during special times like December, increase to every 2 weeks. When you confess, concentrate not just on listing them, but on your intention. Tell the priest something like, "Father, I confess these sins and ask that through the grace of God I be strengthened against any spiritual oppression." This is not superstition, it is clarity of intention. Afterward, receive communion whenever possible. Communion is, in practical terms, the act of uniting your body, mind, and spirit with divine presence. Father Pío said that those who commune regularly simply cannot be touched by malevolent influences. Grace surrounds them. It is protection at the cellular level. Receive communion at least once a week. During December, when the comet is visible, consider twice a week if you can. NASA confirmed that its perihelion was in October this year, and the comet now moves along its trajectory as it exits the solar system. Yet its December visibility serves as a perfect reminder. Transform that reminder into a structured spiritual practice. Michael, from Boston, had turned away from the faith for years, skeptical and scientific in his worldview. But when he faced a series of difficult events that frightened him, he returned to confession. He implemented this third practice, beginning to commune regularly. 3 months later, his family commented on the change. It wasn't just psychological comfort, it was a different presence. A peace with a distinct quality. Today, he reports that regular confession and communion completely transformed his inner life. You now have 3 practices, 3 elements that interweave. They are not abstract practices. They are specific and concrete actions that you can implement immediately, integrating everything, your complete arsenal. Here is how these 3 practices work together as an integrated protection system. Your bedroom, now guarded by the crucifix, becomes your sacred space. Each morning, as you awaken, you recite the creed, anchoring your intention. You carry that energy through your entire day, renewed at meals with the Hail Mary. Midday in December brings the prayer of celestial protection, reminding you that the comet moves across the heavens, that cosmic harmony persists, that you are protected. At night, you expand your circle of light thinking of those you love. You sleep under the presence of the crucifix, knowing your soul is guarded. Once a week, you go to confession and receive communion. You emerge from this act with your soul renewed, your spirit strengthened, your connection with the divine restored. This is not fear. This is power. This is practical spiritual mastery. Tens of thousands of people have already implemented this system, not because they were forced by superstition, but because it works. Because it creates a structure of meaning and personal power that transforms how you relate to uncertainty. Let me be absolutely clear about the physical reality. The comet that captivated us in October during its passage through perihelion will remain at a minimum distance of 1/8 astronomical units from Earth, that is, approximately 130 million kilometers. Its physical impact is zero. NASA, Hubble, the James Webb Space Telescope, and the Parker Solar Probe are all tracking its trajectory. The data is clear. You are physically safe, but your spiritual safety, that depends on you. Padre Pío understood that true fear does not come from external threats. It comes from internal disconnection, from feeling alone before the forces of the universe. These three practices reconnect you. They restore your sense of agency. They transform you from someone paralyzed by fear into someone who is active, prepared, and spiritually equipped. This is the true lesson of Padre Pío for times like these. It's not superstition. It is practical wisdom converted into daily action. You have the knowledge. You have the system. You have the specific instructions. Now you have a choice. You can continue living in uncertainty, or you can implement these practices starting today and experience the personal transformation that Padre Pío promised to those who have the courage to act. Hundreds of people who faced fear discovered that spiritual preparation transforms everything. It is not therapy. It is mastery. It is not comfort. It is power. If you fully implement these three practices, you will not only be protected, you will be transformed. Your home will be different. Your relationship with spirituality will change. Your inner peace will be unshakable. This is what Padre Pío offered. This is what I also offer you now. The comet follows its path across the sky. The telescopes continue tracking. December will return, and you will see the light of this cosmic visitor. But when you see it, you will not feel fear. You will feel certainty. You will feel peace, because you will have implemented the arsenal that Padre Pío revealed. Now I want you to do two things. First, click the link below and download Padre Pío's Complete Protection Guide. This guide contains all the essential prayers, detailed instructions for each practice, and additional meditations to deepen your spiritual work. Everything you need in one resource you can reference anytime. It is yours completely free. Second, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. The work you are beginning is continuous. Each week I will share new content about spiritual preparation, protection through the teachings of saints like Padre Pío, and how to anchor your soul in peace while the world transforms around you. You are not alone on this journey. There is an entire community of people who have chosen spiritual preparation, and you are now part of that community. The choice is yours, but your life will never be the same when you choose to act.